What would you do if your opponent gave you a free rook? Take it, right? What if they gave you a second rook? Surely you take that too. But what if, by taking them, you signed your own death warrant? Today, we dissect one of the most savage attacks in chess history. A game where the legendary Mikhail Tal, the magician from Riga, sacrificed not one ceton but two rooks to dismantle the fortress of the positional genius, Anatoly Karpov. I'm Raj, and this is Wintrader, Chess with Raj. Strap in, because today we're not just watching a game. We're climbing inside the mind of a predator to learn how to think, attack, and points want and win. Let's begin. Tal, playing white, opens with pawn to e4. Karpov, with black, responds with pawn to c6, the Caro-Kann. A solid, reliable choice. But Tal throws a curveball, pawn to c4, signaling he wants an imbalanced fighting game. This leads to a sharp line. After a series of exchanges, we reach a critical early moment. After Tal plays knight to f3, Karpov decides to exchange knights. Knight takes knight on c3. This is a strategic choice. Karpov, the technician, wants to simplify the position, believing fewer pieces will blunt Tal's ferocious attacking style. But this allows white to recapture with the pawn on c3 and firmly establish a strong pawn center with pawn to d4. This is our first key lesson. Tal willingly accepts a slightly weak pawn structure in exchange for dynamic central control and piece activity. Both sides develop naturally. Black plays pawn to g6, bishop to g7, and castles kingside. White plays bishop to d3 and castles kingside. Then Tal makes a deep preparatory move. Rook to e1. Black responds with rook to e8, eyeing the potential break with the e-pawn. Tal develops his last minor piece, bishop to g5, pinning black's e-pawn. Now, on move 12, Karpov faces a critical decision. He needs to develop his queen's bishop. The most natural move is bishop to g4, pinning white's knight and maintaining flexibility. This was likely the better, more resilient choice. Instead, Karpov played bishop to a6, a move that looks central and active, but falls straight into Tal's trap. And Tal pounces with an astonishing blow. Rook takes bishop on a6. This is the Podert first rook sacrifice. He gives up a full rook to destroy black's key defensive pawn on f7. After pawn takes rook on a6, black's king shield is shattered. Tal's compensation is immense. A powerful light-squared bishop with no opponent, a deadly attack down the e-file, and a terribly vulnerable black king. Karpov is forced into a cramped defense, moving his queen to d6 to guard the weak e6 pawn. Tal increases the pressure. Bishop to c4, queen to e2, piling on the e6 point. Black's knight is forced into a pathetic retreat to d8. Notice Tal's discipline here. He could be greedy, try to win the pawn back with bishop takes on a6, but he calculates that leads to an endgame where he's just down material. Instead, he plays rook to e1, refusing to release the tension. His initiative is worth far more than the material. Tal then improves his worst-placed piece, knight to d2, a model of strategic patience, in the middle of an attack. The knight eyes the powerful e4 square. After king to h8 from black, Tal executes his plan, knight to e4, gaining space. Karpov strikes back in the center, pawn to e5, his best practical chance to create counterplay. Now the attacker's mentality is crucial. A defensive move like taking on e5 would bring black's queen into the game as a defender. Tal ignores the threat entirely and launches his pawn storm, pawn to h4. This is the second masterstroke. He tells Karpov, "Your counterplay is too slow. My checkmate is faster. Choice. Under immense pressure, Karpov captures on d4. Then, after pawn to h5, he makes the fatal error. Pawn takes on h5. This opens the h-file, straight for Tal's queen. Tal played queen takes on h5, a strong human move. But I must show you the stunning computer move he missed. Knight to f6. Brutally beautiful, and almost instantly winning. Even Tal was human in a blitz game. The game continuation is still devastating. After queen takes on h5 and rook to f8 from black, Tal repositions his bishop to c2, aiming straight at the king. Black tries to block, queen to e5, and now Tal offers his second rook with the breathtaking move, knight to g3. This is pure magic. The knight move threatens an immediate mate on h7. The only way to stop it is to capture the rook. Karpov has no choice. Queen takes rook on e1. Check. After king to h2, the checks are over. Black tries one last-ditch defense, pawn to he6, but it's hopeless. Tal crashes through. Bishop takes pawn on h6. The forced sequence is elegant and deadly. Bishop takes bishop on g7. Black captures the rook on f2. But Tal's mating net is complete. Queen to h7 check. Queen to g6 check. Bishop to h6 check. And finally, queen to g7 checkmate. This game is a masterclass in attacking chess. The lessons are profound. Value initiative over static material. Have the strategic patience to improve your pieces, even during an attack. And follow the core principles of a king assault. Weaken the pawn shield, open files, and deliver the final blow. If you want to think like Tal and skyrocket your rating, you must absorb games like this. If this deep analysis sharpened your mind, please hit the like button. It helps the channel tremendously. Subscribe to Chess with Raj for more content that builds your chess thinking power. Let me know in the comments, would you have accepted that first rook sacrifice? Thanks for watching.